Here we are at UCLA on the 22nd of July. It's kind of an overcast day, but the weatherman tells us it'll be sunny later. We're about to hear a speech from Min, who's going to share 3 emotions with us that she felt seeing her film. She stands before you managing attention in the power stance, communicating respect non-verbally, hair out of your face, communicating respect non-verbally, finding friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Min.
Hi, Min. Louder.
Hi. The words that coin a culture say volumes about that culture's values. And while the Germans coined Schadenfreude because, let's face it, laughing at other people's pain is funny, I'll be eternally grateful to the Greeks for catharsis, because without it, I'd pretty much be mired in angst. Catharsis pops up on a really cold, stormy night when I'm listening to music while lying in my warm bed, or when I'm in a cafe, just doing a little sketch and listening to the people around me, hearing voices, hearing conversations. But it really, really hits me while I'm watching well-made movies. That really gets me. So today I'll be telling you guys about a movie that really moved me called Ode to My Father, which is a Korean movie about a man who goes through different various life experiences during the Korean War, starting from the Korean War, which was from the 1950s to the present day in the film. And the 3 ways that this film really moved me was by making me feel love, nostalgia, and
emptiness.
So the first way, I'll start off with the way of how it made me feel emptiness. Made me feel emptiness while the very first scene that this movie begins with was when a little boy and his family were being evacuated from Korea during the war, and it was during the Hangnam evacuation. And during the evacuation, he loses his sister, and so his father goes to get her, but then ends up parting ways with him. And basically, this made me feel emptiness because the main character kept feeling a bit of emptiness throughout his whole life in the movie, even though he had achieved so many great things. And I guess that kind of made me realize how, even though people may have most of the things that they want, or most materialistic things that they need, or friends or anything, they still may feel an emptiness that we can't really get through or see. And so, yeah. And the second way that this movie made me feel was through nostalgia. During the movie, the main character ends up going abroad to help as a German co-worker, and while in Germany, he ends up meeting a Korean woman named Youngja, who is a nurse working nearby where he's working. And he basically feels this connection automatically just because she's Korean and they share cultural values. And so without him knowing, they start building a love. And so this made me feel nostalgia because it reminded me of the time when I was in high school, and there was a foreign exchange student in my class who looked extremely lost, and so I just decided to go say hi and have a short, small talk with him. But it ended up that we became really good friends, and although ours didn't blossom into love, he did later on thank me for saying hi, and how it made him feel so much more welcomed into a place where he felt foreign to, and so that moment reminded me of that. And then the third way that this film moved me was through love. And there were many instances in this film where it made me feel love, but the first one would have to be when the father went back for his daughter, and during the evacuation, which made me feel the endless amount of love that my parents put up for me and that, like, the willingness to do anything for me. And the second way was through him and his best friend, who met during a really, really bad point in their life where they were both really poor and they needed to work for their money. And they just later on became really good friends throughout life, and it was a friendship in which they could talk about pretty much anything and like about anything and about whoever, and it was just like a really comfortable relationship, and that really like made me feel loved in the sense that I have friends like that who support me and reminded me of them. And then the last incident where it made me feel loved was through the main character and his sister later on in the film ending up meeting each other through a search program. And even though they hadn't been with each other for so long, they were able to communicate, and there was a tense emotion that you could feel, and that just made me, I don't know, like, that also was part of a reminder of love for me and my family. And so, yeah, those are the three ways in which this film moved me. As you can see, there's no doubt that this film moved me. And I forgot to mention earlier in the speech, but LA Times critic said that this film really expertly undermines human drama to an undeniable effect. And I really believe that it did, because it touched me in so many ways that was more realistic than just the film itself.
Let's start in the front.
Hi, my name is Tao.
Hi, Tal. Nice and loud voice. What'd you like?
I like you almost like answered all of the part on the outline. Yeah, she has like 3-story intro and conclusion, everything she had. Although her phone credit I put on at the end of it, like, but she still had that part. Yeah, that's great. So.
Improvement.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
When you walk to like both sides of the room, maybe walk like a little bit more in eye contact.
Man, it would be helpful if you learned from what others were doing in the class and followed them and followed the prompt a little more closely. Let's start with the intro. You chose different words from different cultures, sympathy, catharsis, etc. Would like to have had a tie back to those words and ideas, so we have bookends. That was the first concept we were working to master. Second, thesis preview. Okay, real clear with your voice. Make a pact with your audience. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to tell you how this film moved me, and you were a little shaky. You put them out of order, and you want to keep them in the same order that you delivered them in. Okay. You skipped over your film review, but you drew around in the end and brought it back, so that was okay. But you also skipped over the SIG statement of selling this to the audience, and that's an important point. So, let's talk about the three feelings you tried to communicate. On the first one, you said it made you feel empty. And here, we didn't get much of a personal story from you on why you felt empty and how you felt empty inside of you. So that was problematic, because if you followed the prompt, and by the way, future outlines, do it into 7 parts and put the Roman numerals in. That will really help you, the A's and the B's. Your second one was much better, nostalgia. This was your best story. You befriended a boy. Was it a boy or a girl? It was a boy who looked lonely. And even though it didn't turn into love, he later thanked you for being kind to him and being open. That was a good story. Return to the emotion you're communicating, nostalgia. On your third one, love, I guess you tried to make up for lost time by giving not just one story, but 2 or 3. And I would rather see you just give one shorter plot summary and do it in greater detail. The summary was okay, your conclusion was okay, little tie back. Remember to stay in the power stance when you stand up there, feet wider apart. So what happens when you come to class every day, you pick up things that others do and you don't make these kinds of errors. Your goals were dynamic when speaking, be expressive, and have more stories and details. How'd it go?
Not so well with the expressive and stories.
Yeah, what was the time, by the way?
5:50.
5:50, so you went a little long, too. So you want to time these so they're within the time frame. How could you improve? What do you think you could do better?
I think I could add more personal stories.
More personal stories, and the way you communicate emotions is you relive them. It's what I call felt sensing. You remember your anger, you feel it again, and we feel it. See? That's how it works. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Now, let's have some PCs. Let's hear from Nicholas. Oh, you're tall, aren't you? He sounds before you manage an attention. Communicating respect non-verbally. Finding friendly eyes, moving front the center, say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi, I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick.
American author and cultural figure Maya Angelou once said, "We may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated." Today I want to tell you about my personal commitment to being healthy. I will give you 2 reasons as to why I'm personally committed to being healthy, and 3 actions as to how I will complete this goal of being healthy. I know that you will be interested in my personal commitment because as young adults, we all suffer from living unhealthy lifestyles, such as eating unhealthy and not going to the gym as much, stuff like that.
First reason.
The first reason I am personally committed to being healthy is that my family has a long history of lifestyle diseases. My aunt named Ruby, she, as far as I can remember, she has weighed more than 350 pounds and has gained lifestyle diseases such as diabetes, high blood pressure, and arthritis in her feet. I was never really affected by her weight throughout my life until last year when I went to go visit her, and she was laying in her bed and really sick and wasn't able to walk outside of her bedroom, and it really affected how I saw people's lifestyles. And so moving on to my second reason as to why I'm personally committed to being healthy. During my first year of college, I gained a little bit more than the freshman 15. In fact, I gained about 40 pounds. And this really affected me because I would take pictures and see that in my face. I was really, really overweight and in my torso and all my body. And I would always have trouble walking upstairs and I would be out of breath. And so I felt disgusted with myself because, not because I didn't look attractive, but just like I wasn't healthy. I wasn't living the healthy lifestyle I should be at this age. I shouldn't have to be worrying about my weight at this age. The first action I took to complete my goal of being healthy was buying smaller size clothing, like mediums for shirts and size 32 for jeans, because this will allow me to have motivation in order to reach my goal of losing weight and becoming more healthy. The second and third action I took were involved in joining a fitness program. So my stepsister named Diana, she had been part of this program called 21 Day Fix. And I usually don't believe in these fitness programs because usually they're advertised on TV and they seem really, really fake. The transformation pictures could be photoshopped and any of these things. So, but once I saw that my stepsister had actually transformed her body, I guess you could say. She had lost weight, she had become much more healthy. I took a grand interest in this. So I joined the fitness program, so the first action I took was eating much, much healthier. The program provided Tupperware so I could have smaller portioned meals more throughout the day. And the third action I took was performing much more physical activity. So this program also provided fitness videos including cardio, upper body, lower body, Pilates, and yoga, that I would have to perform one each day throughout the entire week for 3 weeks. And these 3 actions allowed me to live a much healthier lifestyle. Today I've told you 2 reasons as to why I'm personally committed to being healthy and 3 actions that I've taken to complete this goal.
There should be no doubt in this room.
There should be no doubt in this room that I am personally committed to being healthy. Now that I have told you this, I have realized that Maya Angelou was completely right in saying that we should not be defeated by life's setbacks. Once you take 1 step backward, you have to take 2 forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Hans.
Hi, Hans.
I like your speech because you give your stories very authentically. So I really feel like you put a lot of effort in trying to lose weight and keep healthy, like join the 21 Days Fitness program, the details of the program.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Hans. Improvement.
Hi, my name is Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, I agree with Hans. Your content was pretty spot on, but I think the delivery is what can use a little work, and I think you should just loosen up a little bit because we can tell you're thinking really hard in your head. So I think just before you start, just kind of roadmap in your head, okay, I have to say this, this, and this, and then when you're actually presenting, just relax a little bit.
Let's start with, stay in the power stance. Let's start with Matt's advice. It's good advice. Actually, I want to start on the positive. I appreciate the personal nature of this speech. You shared that you were 40 pounds overweight, and that took some courage. So thank you for sharing a personal, private part of your life. That's what I was after with this speech. It's a way to feel authentic. It's not always comfortable, but it's authentic, and that was good. When you watch yourself tonight, hopefully, it's a new camera, on YouTube, you'll see that your delivery was hesitant. You weren't sure where you were going, and a piece of that will just come with practice, and another piece will come with relaxing. I would like a better transition between the Maya Angelou quote and your thesis statement. Your first reason, you gave a vivid example of Aunt Ruby and gave us vivid details of her being bedridden, unable to walk, etc. Very good story and clearly a motivational site for you because you don't want to end up like Aunt Ruby. On your second story, gaining the freshman 40, that took courage, and you talked about yourself not liking what you saw in pictures in your face and your torso. That was very courageous and very honest, which is what I was after in this speech. So you get extra points for your personal and being honest there. On your actions to achieve your PC, you bought smaller clothes. You joined the 21-day fix, even though you at first were dubious about it. And finally, you're doing the exercise plan. Those are all, sometimes those 21-day plans give people just a little boost they need to get started and keep going. When you watch yourself tonight on YouTube, you'll see that your fourth step on how you feel about taking these actions got very little attention, maybe one sentence. And this is where you draw your audience back in by sharing your feelings here. So spend more time on that. Your summary, your conclusion, and your tie back were all fine. You said you wanted to make better eye contact, continue faking the confidence, and stay within the time limit. What was the time? 5:30. So just 30 seconds over. How did it go,
I did
Nicholas?
better with time, because last time I know I did like 7 minutes.
Uh-huh.
So I did way better. I think eye contact was good, and the confidence, like, not so well.
Okay, fake it till you make it. Thank you, Nicholas. Okay. What? Free country. People are dying in Iraq and the Middle East. So you have freedom and liberty. Let me get you focused. Yeah, by the way, folks, just for future reference, since we have a white screen, try to wear a contrast so you don't blend in and look like a talking face. All right. Nikki stands before you. Managing attention, communicating respect. Finding friendly eyes near the front and center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi everyone, I'm Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
So I feel like we've all heard that age-old saying, good things come to those who wait. And I completely disagree. I feel like most good things in life come to those who work really hard to achieve their goals. And today I'd like to share with you...
Sorry, keep
that's all
going.
right. Today I'd like to share with you my personal commitment that I've worked really hard to achieve, which is very similar to Nick, living a healthier lifestyle. Now today I'm going to show two ways, or two reasons why I am personally committed to this goal, and 3 ways that I have tried to achieve it. I hope that everyone in this room can relate to some of my experiences, and hopefully I can convince a few of you to make the change as well. So the first reason why I am personally committed to this goal is in memory of my grandfather. he passed away from a massive heart attack when I was about 8 years old, and it was most likely due to the fact that he was severely overweight. I still remember the night that my mother got that phone call. We were sitting in the kitchen, and I remember her collapsing into her chair and starting to cry, and it impacted me in a really strong way because my mother was is a very strong woman, and I never had seen her cry before, so it really got me in my heart. And so from that experience, I learned that I need to start taking care of my body and eating right and dieting and doing all the things that my grandfather didn't do, so that one day I can live a strong and healthy life and hopefully be around for my grandchildren and my children for as long as I possibly can. Now, the second reason why I decided to live a healthier lifestyle was my mother, and she was actually the complete opposite of my grandfather. My mother used to run 8 miles every morning when she got up. She restricted her diet so much that one day she collapsed in her living room and was rushed to the hospital. It turns out she was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa, and so the reason why this experience has taught me that a healthier lifestyle doesn't necessarily mean exercising all the time and dieting. It means finding that balance. And because I'm genetically predisposed for that disease, I feel like it's really important to find that balance and eat healthy and right, but also, not overdo it. So the 3 ways I've tried to accomplish this goal: first, I signed up for a nutrition class that related to my major because I was a human biology major, and I learned a lot of tips for healthy eating and just a lot of facts that I didn't really know, and so I've been able to incorporate that into my lifestyle. And then the second thing I did was try to become a little more active. I signed up for my first half marathon and was able to complete it, and for me that was a huge step because I started out barely being able to run a full mile. I was winded and embarrassed because I couldn't do it, and so to be able to complete that 13.1 miles, it was quite an accomplishment, I felt. And then the third thing was I tried to get my friends and family involved so that I could find that balance. I wouldn't ever overdo it, and it was more of a fun lifestyle change than something I was forcing myself to do. So after I completed these 3 things, I felt a sense of accomplishment. I got more energized. I felt healthier, and I felt like a better version of myself. So. In summary, I've told you about 2 reasons why I decided to make this lifestyle change to become a healthier version of myself, and 3 goals that I achieved in order to accomplish this goal. And I hope that nobody in this room has any doubt that I am personally committed to living a healthier lifestyle. And like I said before, I think it's way more important to work hard to achieve your goals, to have good things happen to you, rather than to just wait. Thank you.
Thank you. We're here.
Hi, I'm Bonnie.
Hi, Bonnie.
I really like your speech because it's really complete in terms of structure, and you're really fluent. And I think your stories are very authentic and incredible.
Yes. I think an incredible improvement.
I'm Nick.
Hi, Nick.
Yeah, I agree. Your speech is really well. I think maybe you could speak a little louder.
Yeah, let's start with that. More dynamic, Nikki, and fill the room more with your energy. Okay, and emphatic style of delivery. Vary it in what you're saying. You did the assignment nearly perfectly. You touched the bases that I was interested in being touched, so that was good. You started with a pithy old saying, good things come to those who wait, and you said, well, I'm not about to wait, I'm more of a not wait person, and so I like that, and you tied back to that with your bookends. Where's the person that didn't have bookends? bookends. So that was really excellent. Your thesis preview was fine. Your sixth statement could have been one more sentence longer, but it was good. Your first reason was personal, authentic. You shared something private about your life. Your grandfather was massively overweight. He was obese. You coupled it with your mother getting the call in the middle of the night, her crying and being very upset. It was a well-told story. Your second, and it affected you, and so I'm not going to end up like that. Your second story was, again, a very personal story, telling us that your mother has anorexia nervosa, which is a very difficult disease to deal with, and a very serious disease. And I'm honored that you would share that with us. And I'm glad that she's started to recover. If I were to put on my Freudian hat for a moment, I suspect she was compensating for her father's overweight. But, what do I know? Anyway, it was very personal, compelling, and a good story, and it helped us understand your personal commitment. And it was exactly what I was after in this assignment. I felt you were very authentic at that moment. Did you feel authentic? Yeah, good. On your actions, the bio course in nutrition, good, can't beat that. Marathon, good. You admitted you were very good at it to start with, good. And thirdly, making a public commitment helps, because then people can call you on it when you are, stuffing your face with pastries, etc. Your actions on how you felt could have been one sentence longer. Your summary was good. Conclusion and tieback were all fine. Your goal was to stay within the time limit, to maintain good eye contact, stay in the power stance, and show emotion in my storytelling. How did it go?
So I told myself that I was going to try to be a little bit more emphatic with my speech. I don't think I did it as much as I could have, but I think I improved slightly more since last time. I'm not sure about the time limit, but I know I went way over last time, and I feel like I stayed closer this time.
What was the time?
4:40.
So you did. That was good.
And then what was the last one?
It was emotions, eye contact, and time
Eye
limit.
contact. I think I did much better with eye contact.
With eye contact. You did a very nice job, Nikki. Thank you. Okay, let's hear from Noor. Noor. Hard name to say. How you doing? You need a stapler, huh? Good thing someone gifted me with the stapler. Hope it's still here. She stands before you, managing attention, communicating respect non-verbally, fighting friendly eyes near the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love. Start your speech.
Hi everyone, I'm Noor.
Hi, Noor.
Today I want to speak to you about a personal commitment that I have made over the past year. So scoliosis is a medical condition in which your spine deviates to form an S shape. It is curable through surgery, exercise, and physical therapy. Today I want to share with you my personal commitment to my physical fitness. I will give you 2 reasons as to why I've decided to become personally committed to my physical fitness, as well as 3 goals or 3 kind of things that I've set for myself in order to achieve this commitment. So, I read a quote on Tumblr that said that fitness isn't about being better than someone else, it's about being better than you used to be. So I use this as my mantra in order to motivate me to be committed to my physical fitness. The first reason that I want to be committed to my physical fitness is because I've become extremely lazy in recent years, and this has taken a toll on my personal confidence. In high school, I used to be a part of the track and field team. I used to do sprinting and high jump, and I was in the gymnastics team. I took a lot of pride in being very fit, and it made me feel very kind of self-fulfilled and confident in myself. So in recent years, I haven't been doing this as much, and I've noticed a very, very significant change in my personal confidence, and it's taken a hit on me. And it's not about my physical appearance, it's more about my mental health. And so I decided that I should get back on track and get back to being physically fit. So the second reason that I want to be committed to my physical fitness kind of explains my first reason. So when I was 13 years old, I was diagnosed with scoliosis, which is a condition which twists your spine to form an S shape. As a result of this, I had a surgery a year later, which inserts metal rods inside your spine, and it kind of prevents you from doing anything that is physically intense for a year. So I didn't do that, and then I didn't do anything physically intense for 2 years, and then I went on to 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then now I'm 21, and a year ago I realized that I haven't done anything physically intense for about 5 years, or sports or anything fitness related. And so this worried me as much as it did upset me about myself, because I found that I was kind of letting my medical condition take over, and I was too afraid to damage my spine or do anything that would hurt me, and in the process I gave up on fitness completely. So that's my second reason. So as a result, I set 3 goals for myself in order to help me become personally committed to my physical fitness. My first goal is that I decided to begin going to the gym at least twice a week at my university in Cairo, and then I continued doing this when I came here to UCLA, and hopefully I will continue doing this as well. I set simple workouts for myself and small goals that I could reach, because I am still quite afraid to kind of delve into anything that is actually harmful for me. My second goal or task that I want to begin is I've started doing yoga. I haven't had enough time to actually go to classes, so I searched for a channel on YouTube that I follow, and then I bought the things that I need to do yoga at home, and I do it 3 times a week. It's a very mild form of exercise, but it makes me feel like I'm at least doing something. My third kind of goal that I set for myself is that I have adjusted my diet in order to kind of motivate me more. I've started learning how to make simple salads, fruit smoothies, anything that makes me feel like I'm one step closer to kind of achieving being more physically fit. So in summary, I've told you 2 reasons why I would like to be committed to my physical fitness, and 3 goals that I set for myself in order to help me get there. My conclusion is that although I'm not close to any of the goals that I've set for myself in terms of my physical fitness, I've at least begun seeing results for the first time in years. So this is enough to keep me going for now. So there should be no doubt in this room that I am committed to my physical fitness. Like I said, scoliosis is a medical condition that deviates your spine into an S shape, and it's curable through surgery and exercise and physical fitness. And I've done all 3, and I believe that through my personal commitment and perseverance, I hopefully conquered my own medical condition. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're somewhere here.
Hi, my name's Fernando, and I really liked your speech. I felt that the detail in your stories is very good.
Improvement.
I am Jenny.
Hi,
I really like the
Jenny.
stories you had, but you said quite often, so maybe if you can try to lessen that. And also, I don't know if I wasn't like paying attention close enough, but I didn't really see you say how you felt after you said the 3 things you were going to do that towards your goal.
Right. Good. Good eye. Eagle eye. Nora, let's go through your speech and help you improve. On a positive note, very personal. Shared with us you had scoliosis. Very good. Shared with us that you're very unhappy with your physical state of being. That was very personal. You were being authentic. Good. That feels good. That's what I wanted you to be and feel and practice doing. So that was good. Let me talk about your introduction. You chose a definition and you tied back to it. So you clearly understand the concept. I don't know whether I'm really thrilled with it. I don't know if it really grabbed me, but it did set up for what you're talking about. So, okay, whatever. Your thesis preview was good. You quoted Tumblr, which I suppose is a good enough source as any. But does Tumblr have an author or a person saying it, or they're just anonymous sources, right? Okay. But it was a good quote, and you reacted and responded to it. What I still think you don't yet understand is you said this is my mantra, right? But remember, significant statement is selling to the audience.
Okay.
You'll be interested in my speech because I know all of you want to be more physically fit, and so maybe you can learn from the trials and tribulations that I'm going through. See? That sells it. Your first reason. High school, you used to be fit and jump and run and play and be great and at the top of your game, but then you stopped. That was very personal. You became lazy, you admitted, and that was good. That was very honest and authentic. I like that very much. Then your second reason, you were diagnosed with scoliosis, and I'm glad you defined it there. You already defined it above, but you did it again, and that was good. And then you had the rod surgery, and that made you cautious, and time has gone on, and you were cautious from it, and la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da, and you went through all of that. But that was very personal, about talking about a rod in your spine and how it's impacted you trying to get back into a fitness regime. On your actions, I thought they were consistent with your PC, going to the Cairo gym at American University, at UCLA 20 minutes, taking baby steps is good. Yoga online, they have yoga classes here, by the way, and diet, more fruits and vegetables, you never go wrong with that. Your summary, your conclusion, and your tie back was fine, although I said the definition wasn't really a killer ending, it was more clinical than killer. Are there goals somewhere in this that you had? Are they on second page somewhere? On your self-evaluation?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Don't play with my hair. Be comfortable with my personal stories. And give more details. Don't just outline them. How'd it go?
I think I gave more details.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable sharing that story.
Yeah.
But I think I did play with my hair.
Yeah, but I like it back because we can see your face and it's much more expressive. This is what I was trying to tell. Where is she? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's your role model. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you very much. New eye. Time? 5:09. Thank you. Okay, let's hear from Sharon. Good old Sharon. Let's share, Sharon.
I need a stapler again.
So,
I need a stapler.
it's okay. Fortunately, I was gifted a stapler. She's managing attention. The focus are a little different size. Good. Communicating respect. Finding friendly eyes to the front and the center. Say your name. Feel the love. Start your speech.
Hello, I'm Sharon. Have you
Hi,
ever
Sharon.
wanted to exercise, but you ended up staying at home, lying on the couch and watching a movie? Or have you tried to stay on a strict diet, but you're tempted by the double scoop of ice cream special? Well, you're not alone. What's the problem? We lack self-discipline. Today I'd like to share with you my personal commitment to self-discipline and 3 actions I've taken to demonstrate self-discipline. According to Ramez Sasson, the founder of SuccessConscious.com, he stated that self-discipline will make you feel powerful and in charge of yourself. If you want to build a good habit or get rid of a bad habit, it takes self-discipline. But contrary to common belief, self-discipline does not mean to be harsh on yourself or to live a restrictive lifestyle. It means to have self-control. Self-control over your actions, your reactions, and your desires. So the first reason that I'm personally committed to self-discipline is in my swimming. And growing up, I've always been athletic. I've participated in basketball, soccer, and track. But like many sports, swimming requires a long and intensive workout. So in the middle of last year's season, I started to dread practices because it took up so much time out of my academic life and my social life. So I had to practice at 5 a.m. in the morning and then after school. So I became unmotivated during practices, and as a result, it showed in my competition. And I disappointed my coaches, my parents, and especially myself. I lacked the self-discipline to become motivated or stay motivated and to endure the practices. The second reason that I'm personally committed to self-discipline is staying focused and being on task. So there's this author online, and she gave us, in my generation, there are many distractions, and it's very hard to concentrate. So a person online gave a title to my generation. She called it the distracted generation. I totally agree with her because it's very hard for me to concentrate because during my finals, I naturally laid my phone beside me while I was studying, and it beeped and buzzed, and I respond to the notifications. I ended up texting my friends and browsing different social media apps. And I was trying to study at the same time, and I didn't get anything done because I was consumed on my device. So, as a result, my final grades weren't good, and my parents got angry, and they grounded me for a week. So now there are 3 actions that I'd like to tell you, like how I achieved self-discipline. The first action I took was when I arrived in UCLA, I decided to work out at the gym. So it takes a lot of self-discipline and motivation to go out, get ready, and go to the gym. And I feel great after working out because I know that currently I'm working on a personal goal for my 100 butterfly to get a personal record. And I don't want to lose my swimming abilities, so I'm trying to gain strength and endurance. The second action I took was to turn off my phone while I do work. This has helped me greatly while studying because I won't get distracted and I can stay more focused. I've noticed that I'm more productive and I have like less distractions around me. The third action I took was to prioritize my activities. Last week, on Friday, my friend asked me to go and hang out with her and go shopping, and I really wanted to go because it was the weekend and I wanted to have fun. But I had work to do and I was quite behind on my homework, so I hesitated and I said no, thank you, and I stayed home and I did work. As a result, I had a work-free Saturday and I could relax and enjoy my day. So I realized that the three actions that I took, I learned to reject instant gratification, and I also learned something greater, that I could finish my tasks and my goals. In summary, I have told you 2 reasons why I'm committed to self-discipline and 3 actions to demonstrate self-discipline. I work out at the gym and to keep my swimming abilities. I turn off my phone so I can keep away all the distractions and I can stay focused. And I prioritize my activities so that I can finish up my tasks and my goals. There should be no doubt in this room that I am personally committed to self-discipline. I hope that I can build good and healthy habits that are vital to my life. And if you ever feel lazy or unmotivated and lethargic, just remember, self-discipline is your answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, we're somewhere back here.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
I thought your speech was really good. You followed the structure really well, and the way that you spoke was very fluid. You didn't have a lot of pauses or ums in there, so I thought it was really good.
Improvement.
Hi, I'm Joseph.
Hey, Joseph.
You did a good speech, but maybe more story and a little bit tie-back.
More story and a more vivid tie-back. Okay, let's start with your tie-back. You started in the beginning with an interesting kind of, rhetorical question, right? You asked people, how many of you wanted to exercise or went to a movie, wanted to diet, but had double dip of ice cream? Likewise, was self-discipline. I didn't know how you were going to tie back to that, but you just did by just saying self-discipline. I think it would have been more effective, and I think what he was referring to was more reference to the ice cream and to the laziness, and that would have been more effective. But let's go through your speech, Sharon. You had a good thesis preview. Your significant statement was a long, significant statement that talked about the importance of self-discipline and how it will result in good results. I would have just had another sentence that sold the speech to the audience. I know this was an indirect way of selling the speech to the audience, right? But be a little more direct about it. On your first reason that you're personally committed, you talked about swimming and slacking off, and I guess this was your effort to be personal. And so you admitted that you were a lazy bum and that you hated getting up at 5 in the morning and going at 2 in the afternoon and swimming, and your time went down and you were a slacker. So that was your effort to be personal and authentic, right? Pretty good. It wasn't, a really deep one, but it was okay. On your second reason for self-discipline was you talked about being the distracted generation and being wed to your telephone and having it with you. and having poor grades, and your parents grounded you. And I guess that was your effort to be personal as well, right? That was a private thing. No one admits being grounded, I guess. Your actions were consistent with your PC. You were, yes, that's right. Working out, you got back to your swimming, your, putting the phone out of the room or in a desk drawer or something, or turning it off is good. And your prioritizing ability to say no to people is excellent. I particularly like your saying your ability to reject instant gratification, because that really is the sign of successful people that can forego and reject instant gratification to do their work first and then take time to play. Those are the successful people, Your summary was fine. It was well detailed. Your conclusion was fine. Your tie back could have been better. Your kanais were to sound less memorized, more extemporaneous, to slow down, to have more feelings and emotions. What was the time? 5:15. Have a catchy introduction. How'd it go?
I think I had a catchy introduction.
With the rhetorical questions, yeah.
And my emotions, I think I could work on it a little bit more. And what was the other one?
One was feelings and emotions, others was memorized, and the third one was catchy introduction.
Yeah.
How'd they go?
I think they went alright.
Okay, and the other thing is, you have a habit of not staying in the power stance. Practice keeping your feet wider apart when you're speaking. The only other thing I would say is you were a little bit safe in being authentic. You didn't share real deep personal stuff with us, but it was personal enough to get through the assignment. So don't be afraid to open up a little more in future assignments. Thank you.
I'm sorry, where's the sign-in sheet?
I don't know. Down a rabbit hole. Where's the sign-up sheet? Okay, let's hear from Jenny. Jenny Lamb. In the squares, yes. You're tall. Okay, Jenny stands before you, managing attention, communicating, respect, fighting friendly eyes there, the front and the center. Say your name, feel the love, start your speech.
Hi, I'm Jenny. And
Hi, Jenny.
An American novelist and journalist, Charles Michael, once said, "Parents are like God. You want them to be there, and you hope they think well of you. But you only call them when you need something." And I believe that's really true for children in society today. And that's why I'm telling you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to being a good daughter and 3 actions I'm taking towards that commitment. As children and college students especially, you get irritated and annoyed about how your parents are constantly nagging you, calling to check up on you, and questioning what you're doing. But you never take the time to answer them or show them how much you appreciate them until you're gone away and they're no longer by your side or they pass away. And this is why I'm committed to being a good daughter. The first reason I'm committed to being a good daughter was when I was in kindergarten, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And at that age, I didn't know what it was or how serious it was. And one day I went upstairs to tell her, "When are we going to the park? You promised me last week." And at that moment, she was starting her chemo, and it was taking a toll on her health, but I didn't really care about that. All I cared was myself. And so I threw a tantrum, I ran downstairs into my room and slammed the door. So
Later at night, my dad came home and he told me, your mom's really sick and it's going to take her time to heal. I kind of just like, okay, she's sick, she'll get better eventually. But looking back, I realized that she always helped me when I was sick and was by my side. But when she was sick and she needed help, I didn't have the common courtesy to ask her, how can I help you, or how are you feeling today? And it made me realize that through everything my parents had done, I never really showed them how much I appreciated them. The second reason why I am committed to being a good daughter was because after moving away to college, I had roommates, and they're not always the best roommates, but you have to deal with them. And so during the past year, my roommate was very inconsiderate. She'd leave dishes in the sink for days to weeks. She'd leave spills on the ground waiting for one of us to clean up when it was obviously she who had done it. She'd throw her clothes on the couch, books on the table, and it was just a mess. And I realized that I did that when I lived back home. When I came home from school, my backpack would be on the ground, my clothes would be on the couch, and I'd leave dishes expecting my parents to wash them. I never had the common courtesy to step up and do it myself. And now that the time has come, I see all the things they've done for me and how much I appreciate them so much more. So 3 actions that I'm taking towards my personal commitment is trying to call them every day. Back then, they'd always say, why aren't you calling me, or why do I have to call you first? And I finally took the step to call them, and it makes them so much happy, like they don't have to take the initiative to call me, and I'm calling them, whether it's just to ask how their day was, or to say goodnight. And the second action I'm taking is to say I love you to them more often. Me and my family, we never express, oh, I love you. It's kind of not spoken of. But as I went to college, I realized how much a difference it made. At first they were like weirded out, like, why are you saying this to me? And they never said it back to me. But now every time I say it to them, they smile and they say it back to me. And the third thing I do now is when I go home on the weekend, I don't try to hang out with my friends or go with my cousins somewhere. I try to spend time with my parents with like anything, as helping in the backyard with my dad or just taking them out to eat for dinner. And it made me so happy that I finally took the step to showing them how I want to help them, how I appreciate them. But I was also disappointed in myself that I didn't take the step earlier on to do this and waited until I moved out of college, moved out of home. So I've told you, in summary, I've told you 2 reasons why I'm personally committed to being a good daughter and 3 actions I've taken upon. And there is no doubt in this room that I'm personally committed to being a good daughter. Like Charles Michael said, parents are like God. You only call them when you need something. But that shouldn't be the case. You should call them because you just want to express how much you love them or how much you miss them. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're in the back here, yes.
Hi, I thought your speech was really good.
Start with your name.
My name's Erin.
Hi, Aaron.
Hi. I thought your speech was really good, and I don't know, I don't really have. Oh no, wait, I'm not criticism. Okay, wait. I thought your speech was really good, and I like how you walked around.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Hi, I'm Noor.
Hi, Noor.
I thought your speech, the topic was really unique. I think maybe you could have spoken a bit louder, but it was very fluid. I don't
Liked your speech a lot. Thought that you chose to talk about something near and dear to your heart that you could express emotions through, and it worked well. You opened with Charles Michael talking about parents being gods and yet cynically observing that children only call when they want something, which is kind of sad, but true. It all rang true with people sitting in this room. Your thesis preview was fine. Your significant statement was excellent. Your first reason was very telling. Your mother had breast cancer and you could care less. You wanted to go to the park and you threw a tantrum. Your father said your mother's sick, and you thought, shrugged and thought, well, she'll get well, not realizing that she may not get well. And parents can leave us unexpectedly, and that's very sad. I didn't show it in class, but the girl that did the model speech on drunk driving, lost her mother when she was 9 to breast cancer. Very moving speech that she gave on her PC. So, your second reason for being a good daughter was the reality that your roommates are pigs, and that you didn't want to act like that, and you were a pig at home, and you expected to have this book this way. One time, in a particular time about 35 years ago, when I had a set of spoiled brats on the debate team who would leave their lunch trays and their lunch food on the table and just walk out and walk to class. Finally, I put up a sign saying, "I'm not your mother. Please clean up after yourself," as if they had to be told. It was very strange, But I'm sorry you have a roommate that leaves dishes for a week and expects you to clean up her spills, etc. Your actions were consistent. I was touched by you inspiring your parents to express their love verbally. I'm glad you don't just go home and hang out with your friends. Trust me, you have very little time with your parents. They will be gone, and you will be sorry you didn't spend more time with them. How you feel when you perform these actions was good. Your summary, your conclusion, your tie back to Charles Michaels was good. Your kanai, have a moral after each story, make good eye contact, put emphasis on the important parts. How did it go?
I feel that I tried having morals, kind of like in each story, how to appreciate your parents, express how much you love them and stuff.
Good.
And as for the emphasis, I try to pause at the but part of the quote. Like last time, I didn't pause at the catchphrase, so I tried doing that more.
Good. Did a good job today, Jenny. Thank you. Okay, let's hear from Aaron. Already went. Let's hear from Tao. $4.38. Thank you. Rock and roll. Is it stable? 0. Managing attention, communicating respect, finding friendly eyes in the front and the center, say your name, feel the love. Tell us about your personal commitment.
Hi, my name is Tao.
Hi, Tao.
In the Bible, Luke chapter 6, verse 38, practice giving and people will give to you. And in the Buddhism in China, it says you give others, others will give back to you. You give more and you receive more. And these two principles told me one thing. Giving and helping others is really important. Today I want to share with you my personal commitment to helping others. I will give you 2 reasons why I help others and 3 actions to demonstrate my commitment. And what is the fairest way that people could remember you? When people people could remember you when you help them. They may not know your names, but they will remember you and your help. And the first reason that I want to help others is because I was helped by May, my roommate, to solve with my problem. I had a trouble with my hairs. I lose my hairs seriously. Each time I comb my hairs or wash my hairs, like it fell off in the basin and the bathtub like heavily. I actually counted like 450 hairs lost each time. That was not normal. Like I went to doctor's office to seek for help. He says this was caused by genetics. He did not have any effective way to stop my hair losing. I was so worried and keep thinking day and night. How could I do if my hair like keep lost so rapidly? Like how could I do if I become bald? Do I need to like wear a wig, put some artificial hair on my head like for the rest of my life? This problem like really affects me. Like until Monday, like May found my hairs in the basin, and she told me that she also has this similar situation in the past. He shared me with her method. Like she used some of the herbs, cooked with the water, and used the water to wash the hair. And she also showed me a sample of the herbs, what it looks like. And I followed her method. It was kind of effective. Like it could slow the rate of my hair loss. And I was so grateful to May, and I felt happy and relaxed for my anxiousness. Like when someone helped me to figure out something that I could not figure myself. Like so I'm glad and joyful to other people in return to help them get rid of their troubles, and so they could experience the same feeling of the happiness that I have felt. And the second reason I want to help others is because I can have a positive effect on Jane when I help her overcome her difficulty and sadness. Jane is my best friend, and she looks my big sister. But once she broke up with her fiancé, and she was so depressed that she could not fall asleep. She continued to take sleeping pills for a better sleep. She took like one and one more until half of the bottle was empty. As a result, she fell down and without any consciousness. And she was sent to the hospital by other students in her labs. And fortunately, she received the antidote on time, and her life was saved. After that incident, I set up a watch program to take care of her. Like I drove with her for 4 to 5 blocks every evening. After exercise, I talked to her, I encouraged her, like I repeatedly told her like the life is the most important, life is the most valuable thing. Like you still have lots of chance to see beautiful things in the future. Like I just keep doing exercise with her, like talk to her, encourage her, like every day for 1 year. Until one day, she had a big smile on her face, and she says, "Tao, I remember your words. I can recite them from the end to the beginning." Like I feel very satisfied and joyful and happy because my energy can pass on to her, because I can help her to get rid of her negative attitude and move her towards her positive attitude. And I have a sense of my self-worth when I help Jane and when I was committed to help other people. So I keep help more and more people. Third, I want to share with you some action I help others. First, I help my neighbor Maria. She has a disability on her legs. I bought her grocery each week and bring them to her home. Second, I help some senior people in my community to fill out kind of the forms for physical exam and forms for the government welfare programs. And third, on the July 4th, I participate in fundraising like by selling coffee and chocolate bar in the holiday fair. And this fund was mailed to the Red Cross to help victims in the natural disaster. Like after I perform all these actions, I feel happy, satisfied, and joyful. And I increase my feeling of my self-worth. And so in conclusion, I show you 2 reasons why I help people and 3 actions. Help Maria, help senior people, and raising funds for Red Cross. So there should be no doubt in this room that I was really committed to my personal commitment. Everyone needs help at some point in their life. I deeply believe that quote from the quote from the Bible and from the Buddhism principle, like practice giving and people will give back to you. And it's true, giving is more important than receiving. And because I can feel joy, I can feel joyful, and I have sense of satisfaction, and I also increase my feeling of my self-value after I help others.
Thank you. Okay, we're somewhere. Are we done in the back? No? Okay, let's hear the back.
Hi, Min.
Hi, Min. What'd you like?
I think you did a great job. You followed the prompt really well, and you had really great details, and I could tell that all of the stories that you put in, you really felt grateful for the things that happened and how you really reflected back upon them. So you did a good job.
Improvement. That's you.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Maybe some more eye contact with the whole audience.
Okay. Now, you started with the Bible, the Bible. The Bible, yes, that's the book for me. And Buddhism, too, so you gave equal weight. I'm not so sure about religious quotes in a secular society. It was a little bit daring, but it was on point to your philosophy. But so it's fine. But be careful about the Bible and Buddhism and so forth. It's usually meant for private conversation. So your PC is to help others, and you told us that if we do, they'll remember us, so that was a pretty good 6th statement. You told us a funny, personal, private story that you were losing your hair, and in fact you counted them, all 450 strands. That was pretty remarkable. And so you got some help. You were worried if you were going to wear a wig, and so you use an herb, and I guess, I don't know, the problem has been solved. Is that right?
It was improved.
It is improved. So that's good. And that was something that was helpful and it made you feel good, and that was something personal and private, right? Yeah. On your second reason for your personal commitment, you talked about your friend Jane. She broke up with her fiance. She tried to commit suicide, but you caught her in time. They saved her life, and now you run with her every night, and you walk with her, and you counsel her back to life. And she quotes you, and she says she remembers your encouragement, and that makes her feel good, and you feel good in your personal commitment, right? Yeah. So that was good. On your actions, they were consistent with helping others, buying a neighbor groceries, helping senior citizens fill out their forms, and doing fundraising on the 4th of July are all positive, helpful actions and serving others and consistent with your PC. Just a little bit more time on how you feel when you take these actions would draw more attention to them. Your summary, your conclusion, and tie back were all fine. You went back to the Bible and Buddhism, and that was fine. What was the time? 5:53. So you're again a little long. So work on your word economy. You want to keep these at 5. Okay. You wanted to work on eye contact, be more dynamic, have a better tie back, and speak clearly. How'd it go?
Speak clearly, I try, but I think it's still not good. And eye contact, still not very good, but tie back is bad. But tie back is good, and dynamic is fine.
Eye contact, dynamic, better tie back, and speak clearly were your 3. So you did a nice job, Tal. You worked hard on this, and it's a good PC to have, and you shared personal stuff about yourself. Thank you.
Professor?
Yes?
I think you might want to change the battery.
Yes, we're on red. Thank you. Thanks for the warning. Okay, so someone can be getting ready. Next we'll hear from Hans Christian Andersen, then Joseph and Min. Fall, new one.
What do you have written on